Hi, everybody. Welcome to a Thursday edition as we look at this cold weather pattern coming in for the weekend. I'm meteorologist Rod Hill. This I say KGW weather update. I'm coming to you from the KGW building in downtown Portland, but of course, this is my own YouTube channel. Kind of a slip of muscle memory there. Anyway, hope you're doing well. Again, this forecast for the Portland, Oregon area, including all of Oregon, and we'll touch up into Washington as well. This is on the left, Sunday morning's map, and I've circled the Willamette Valley in Southwest Washington in blue. And notice the lows 26, 27, 28, 30 degrees. If you go out east, you've got numbers as low as 12, 18, 16 degrees. You've got teens over in Central Oregon and Deschutes County. So, this forecast we've been talking about for a while with all perfectly clear skies day and night for Saturday, Sunday, and on Monday, which of course is Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day is a go. Clear skies. East winds at times noticeably breezy, especially out near the gorge. And all of this fueling some of the coldest lows that we have seen so far this year. As I mentioned, I think last time we talked, PDX, site specific in Portland, has only slipped into the 20s twice this year. And I think that was a 27, 28 degree temperature back in early December. So we haven't had too many of these hard freeze nights. And a reminder, if you've been using your garden hose, that type of thing, you'll want to disconnect that and prepare for some cold nights, especially where we could get below 10 degrees in parts of eastern Oregon and eastern Washington. So this continues to be my big headline as we get into it, a courtesy of the Momentous Wealth podcast. You can listen to these investment topic educational podcasts through Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. Easy to search Momentous Wealth Podcast, and you'll see them pop up. Okay. Here's the water vapor. A couple things I want to point out. So, number one, on this Thursday, follow my cursor. See right here, there's a little dip in the faint shading. That's a cold front. There's really very limited, if any, moisture with it. There's been some light showers up around Western Washington this morning along the coast, and that's been it so far. This may or may not bring some traces of rain to the North Oregon coast on this Thursday and maybe north of the Columbia River, but mainly it's dry. What it will do is open the door for cold air out of Canada to start coming down across the upper Rockies, and some of that colder air spilling into some degree into the Pacific Northwest. So this is kind of the swing door. It's going to change our weather pattern and give us the cold, dry east winds in the coming days. Weather systems will be holding well out to sea as we see upper level ridging and a dry weather pattern take hold. So here's the surface map on the American GFS model. And this is this afternoon at 4 p.m. So you see the low center up north of Montana and north of North Dakota. And then basically right in here is one weak frontal passage. See the little dip in the isobars? That's one very weak frontal passage down into Oregon. Here's colder air with a secondary front that stretches up in here. But as I put this into motion, you're going to see the high pressure area. This is going into Saturday morning, drop down into the U.S. straight out of Canada. See the big high? This is a high that's centered a little bit more west than what the other ones have been that have kept the eastern U.S. cold more than not for several weeks. And then this high just continues to come down. Here's the cold front. This is Saturday overnight. The cold front pushing off the Gulf Coast with the big high coming all the way down into Texas. So that's some freezing temperatures into the deep south of the United States as we go into Sunday, Monday, Sunday morning. And then here's Monday morning of Dr. Martin Luther King Day. Again, the high centered over Wyoming and Montana. And see how the isobars are close together? This is the east wind fetch. Remember, the winds around these highs go like this, they go clockwise. So this is the east wind fetch across Nevada up into Oregon, up into Washington that we've been talking about. There's no moisture with it. It will play a role in keeping us perfectly clear. But the east winds also drop the dew point. So as a forecaster, you look at the dew points as a barometer to see how cold you can get. So if this drops dew points down into the teens, then it will tell you if you live in a part of the Willamette Valley or up in Western Washington where you don't get any east wind, you could potentially approach 20 degrees for a low temperature. And this would set up a possibility of single digits again in eastern Oregon and Washington over the weekend, with the coldest nights being, it looks like Sunday morning, Monday morning, and on Tuesday morning. Now, here's a look at the wind. We'll switch models, and this is the European model. This is Friday afternoon. So Friday, there's no wind, which could be a factor because we expect to get valley fog again overnight tonight and a Friday morning. If there's no wind to clear it out, then especially south of Portland, clearing may not happen. There's no guarantee that even Portland would clear out tomorrow, but the chances of clearing gets worse as you drop down into the thinning Willamette Valley into Salem and down to Eugene. But the main thing I want to show here are the east winds developing first in the gorge. Here's Saturday morning. See the blue contours developing? So this blue shading is basically winds gusting to 20 miles per hour or more. And then the green, when you get into the green tones, now you got winds that are approaching 35 to 45 miles per hour. So this is Saturday morning. Now, this is interesting because notice how there's Saturday, this would be Saturday at 1 o'clock. See how the blue, there's a fetch of east winds leaving the gorge and becoming noticeable through parts of the valley. This is down into Yamhill County. This is tied to topography, but it's very common that when you get east winds gusting to 25, 30, 35, maybe 40 out near the gorge, which could happen on Saturday, you get these little veins of east winds shooting through parts of the valley. And this is showing one of those down into Yamhill County. And here we are going into Sunday morning. This shows the winds kind of fade a little bit. And then Sunday afternoon, it holds the winds mainly in the gorge, gusts to at least 25, maybe 35, 40. And then we go into Dr. Martin Luther King Monday. And this is interesting. And this is the European model. But now in blue, these would all be east winds, little shoots of east wind making it all the way off the coast, central coast, all the way up into Astoria. And you've got winds over parts of Clark County. You've got definitely 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts in the West Gorge. And then let's see, I think Tuesday the winds should start to quiet down, and that's what we show. Here's Tuesday afternoon. Winds have really quieted in most areas except for some local breezes in the gorge. Okay. So that was interesting to look at. Now, here's the same model, the European, showing what low temperatures could be. Now, keep in mind, this model is taking areas that if there's some wind, it's holding the temperature up. So if you live in a spot where you know you get protected by the east wind, meaning you don't get it, then you could be at least 5 degrees colder than what some of these numbers are. So here's Saturday morning. Generally from Kelso, Longview down into Eugene, anywhere from 28 to 31 degrees. Similar numbers, 30, 28 up in Seattle, 29 in Tillamook County, nearing single digits with lows around 15 and 12. Well, there's a single digit out in some of eastern Oregon, and there's 8 degrees up in northeastern Washington. Yeah. So, and I remember I said overall on paper, the coldest nights look to be Sunday, starting Sunday night. So here's Sunday low. Now we've got more like 27, 28, 29 in the Willamette Valley, 28, 27 in Seattle, 28 Tillamook. Still some single digits. There's a 9 and there's a 5 out in eastern Oregon and Washington. Should be just as cold Monday morning. Let's see what the model shows. Well, this would only show slightly warmer temperatures because of an increasing wind. And remember, the European model did show more wind Monday morning than any of the mornings coming up. So that's why you got 28, 29, 31. But again, the more east wind you get, the lower the dew point goes, which means if you don't get the east wind, the better the chance that you could be 20, 21, 22 in parts of the Willamette Valley and freezing temperatures along some of the coast and the single digits out east. So here is a look at the wide reach of this cold Canadian air. Now, this is Sunday. This is the high temperature forecast for Sunday across the U.S. Notice there's Chicago, a high of 7. Their temperature staying below 0 during the day for highs in northern Minnesota, North Dakota, parts of Montana. There's a high temperature over in Boise of about, what does that show? 12 degrees, I think. Now, when you get into the blue, let me go downside. Yeah. When you get into the blue areas, you've got highs generally reaching up into the 30s, and then the green is highs in the 40s. So notice the cold air goes all the way down to Texas and Louisiana. This does keep us reaching 40 from Portland, Salem, and northward up into Seattle, and then some temperatures reaching the 50s down in the Coos Bay, North Bend area. But so you can plainly see this is the outline of the cold air mass in purple and blue. So yeah, we're on the back edge of it. We don't really get into the true cold Arctic air that's shooting down, but we do feed an east wind off of it, which will play a factor in our overnight lows, and to some degrees that will help hold afternoon highs down as well. Look up in Canada. Good grief. These are highs, minus 19, minus 21. These are Fahrenheit temperatures. Really cold stuff. Okay, check on the mountain. Beautiful clear sky day up there. Timberline clear and 39 degrees. That's an old image on the left. So that's beautiful. Falling temperatures up there today because we have that front coming in. So it's been around 40 early this morning up around government camp, but later today could be closer to freezing as snow levels drop from 65 to 3,500 feet. It will be a dry day with increasing to partly cloudy skies. And then you got all sunshine Friday through the holiday. So bluebird days if you're going up there, but there will be east winds. It's tough to tell at that elevation how strong the east winds will be or not. Make sure you check conditions and be prepared for really cold weather before you go. Daytime highs Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, pretty close to freezing. Some days probably not making it. There's the mainly clear government camp, 36 degrees, and all the passes are mainly clear at this hour, including the Siskiyou Summit, 39 degrees, by the way, down into California. Okay, let's go around the horn. These are temperatures early this morning, 30 in Medford. This is all dry. 25 Saturday morning, 26 Sunday morning, 28 Monday morning, moderating with a high reaching back up to 50 on Wednesday. So, certainly one of the chillier stretches of weather that we've had. Again, haven't had that much of just out and out cold weather this winter, as you know. Bend, all dry. 52 today, the last 50 something degree day. It's been in the mid 50s over there the last couple of days. By Saturday, now you're starting to cool off. 13 in the morning, 37 in the afternoon, 18 Sunday morning to 34, 21 Monday morning to 34. If you're going over to Central Oregon to spend your weekend, sunny skies, but make sure you bring plenty of warm clothing. Up in Seattle, there's a legitimate chance of showers this afternoon, but then that's it. It's all dry. In Seattle, overnight lows in the 20s on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday mornings. Daytime highs only around 40 degrees. Okay. Salem, let's see here. All dry. Yeah. Friday, mostly cloudy. It's possible that tomorrow, you folks in the mid and south valleys, Salem, Albany, Corvallis, Eugene, never clear out of the fog. And if you don't, your highs will be more like 41, 42, or even 40 instead of 46. So we'll see. Expecting to clear out and warm into the mid 40s on Saturday, then it's all clear on Sunday, Monday. You could be all clear on Saturday, by the way, FYI. Temperatures 20s at night. There's a 25 Sunday morning. So again, idea of how cold it's going to be. North Bend, let's see here. All dry. Coldest temperatures around freezing. Daytime high still getting up to about 50 degrees through the stretch. Let's see how much cooler it is up in Astoria. Friday, all dry into the weekend. Overnight lows around 30, daytime highs primarily holding in the 40s, back up to 50 Wednesday of next week. Here's my Portland forecast, courtesy of Hazeldale Tire Pros up in Clark County off of Highway 99. All right, mostly cloudy. Trace of rain mostly north of the Columbia River today. And understand, even a sprinkle, there's only a slight chance. This is mainly just a cloudy, dry day with light winds. 42 to 45. 45 might be a little too warm. Valley fog tomorrow. We will need Portland to clear by midday to get up to about 45 degrees for a high. So that will depend on the clearing patterns, light winds. Then the east winds start to blow that we talked about on Saturday, and those continue through Monday, and then start to calm on Tuesday and Wednesday. I've got the coldest lows being Monday morning and Tuesday morning at 26. Daytime highs 43 Sunday, 43 on Dr. Martin Luther King Day. And again, some of you will be more like 21, 22. With daytime highs struggling to get up to 40, 41. So it'll be a temperature watch with clear skies, and really the east winds and temps will be the only thing to watch as we go into the weekend. Thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. It helps me out. You'll be notified when I post. I'm meteorologist Rod Hill, and I'll talk to you soon.